In 1951, they sold 16.5 million fittings and 26,000 tools for installing the fittings. The manufacturing section is known as the BM Fittings Corporation, the letters BM standing for Bruegel Method. This type of coupling is known as a thin wall coupling and is used extensively in all kinds of construction. And now the conduit connectors are ready for the final assembling process. In this picture, the conduit connector is being riveted into a solid piece of equipment, the final step in the manufacturing of the connector. Although the coupling threading has been eliminated, it's still necessary to thread the fittings on the conduits where they connect to the outlets. Now the finished parts and fittings go into the tumbler for a thorough cleansing preparatory to being plated. All foreign matter must be removed. Here are the finished parts and fittings get their silvery-colored zinc plating that protects against corrosion and adds to the life of the units. This is the conduit connector assembling department in the Bruegel Tool Company. This article will connect two conduits without them being threaded. It fits over the ends like a sleeve and tightens. The processes completed, the conduit connectors are ready to be packed and shipped out. They will go to 8 conduit manufacturers who will in turn ship them out with their conduits. These 8 conduit manufacturers are their only outlet, but the demand by these companies has been so great that it's been a tremendous job to keep them supplied. Since the method was developed in 1934, the business has grown to many times its original size. Not only do they make connectors, the Bruegel Company also makes their own tools and dies, as well as jigs and other fixtures used in the manufacture of their own products. In order to install a Bruegel connector, a special tool must be used that makes indentures in the thin wall couplings and holds it secure. These are made here also. The Best Company is one of Galva's larger industries and has been in business since 1892. The firm is under the direction of Leon Best, president, Gordon Noblick, treasurer, and Ernest Ovitz, secretary, and they specialize in the manufacture of carpeting display racks of all styles and types. This is Mr. Leon Best, the founder of the business. The early organization constructed display cases for buggy whips. It was built in the shape of a star, and this star has been carried over as their trademark. They moved the business from Denver to Galva, Illinois in 1908 and expanded their display cases to cover rug displays. Buggy whips have gone out of existence, so their present business is solely the making of carpeting display cases and conveyors. There are a multitude of designs, all of them constructed to carry out the company's motto, "Goods well displayed are half sold." They construct display racks for some of the nation's largest firms. You'll see carpets displayed in Best racks in Washington, D.C., Poughkeepsie, New York, Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and Houston, Texas. They also manufacture racks for the cutting room and linoleum racks. Some of the racks are large enough to show 30 9x12 rugs in such a manner that each rug can be turned like the page of a book. All racks are designed with one aim: more sales, easier and quicker. Here is Mr. Ovitz, son-in-law to Mr. Best, and he is demonstrating the use of a carpet conveyor, or carpet dolly, as it's sometimes called. The conveyor is used to move heavy rolls of carpeting from one place to another. The machine shop is the first step in making a display rack, and here a turret lathe operator turning out wooden parts that will go into a Best display rack. This machine is a vertical turret lathe, and the operator is also making parts for the racks. The finest hardwoods are used, and the racks are built firmly to withstand years of wear without losing their beauty. Naturally, the Best Display Rack Company has a huge carpenter shop, for a great portion of their racks are made from wood. The company employs about 100 people, and many of them are skilled carpenters like the men you see here. They're working on one of the larger size display racks. Another part of the Best Company is their foundry. They cast small parts usually weighing from 1 to 5 pounds. During the war, the Army could not find a manufacturer to make an armored fuel tank cover of specific design, but Leon Best looked at it and figured out a cover that was accepted by the Army and manufactured by the Best Foundry. The Best Foundry does a lot of job work for many varied industries located in the Tri-City area. Scrap metal, pig iron, and coke are dumped into this skip hoist to be raised to the cupola of the Best Foundry. The mixing of these materials is called charging the furnace. The furnace is charged by raising the mixture of metals in the skip hoist to the top of the cupola. They are then dumped into the furnace. 6 minutes is required to melt the mixture to a molten state. The mixtures in the cupola vary according to the type of casting being made. They have in the past done a great deal of government work, and castings made for the government must be made from mixtures set up by governmental standards, all of which makes charging the furnace a detailed and scientific job. After the 6 minutes of melting, the molten metal is ready to be poured into the molds. It's then dumped first into a small monorail and then to a ladle. Using the hand ladle, the men pour the molten metal into the molds. This metal may become a gearbox, a cable drum, or a pump chamber, or one of the many other things made at the Best Foundry in Galva. Like all foundries, there is a core-making department in the Best Foundry. These cores are used to form inner cavities of the casts that are being made. Now the cores are baked. The baking process hardens them, so they'll hold their shape during the pouring process. The processes involved in pouring the actual molds require skill and long years of experience. This is Frank Hempton, one of the oldest of the foundry men who has been with the firm for many years. He started as a foundry apprentice when he was 14 years old, and he's been doing the same work ever since. Obviously, experience is the best teacher, for Frank is able to do this extremely difficult job with tremendous ease. Like Frank, most of the foundry men began when they were quite young, learning the fundamentals of the trade from older men. As is common in most trades, the foundry men have a union governing pay and working conditions. The Best Foundry does its utmost to keep working conditions better than standard. When the molding is completed, the castings go to the wheel librator, where they are blasted with small pellets to remove chips and rough surfaces. This is Howard Kane, foreman of the foundry. The final cleansing process is done in the tumbling machine, where all grit, dust, and other particles are removed. Now we leave the Best Foundry and move to the Peterson Creamery, which is located next to the Galva City Fire Department. This is one of the largest creameries in the Middle West, and they have pickup stations as far away as North and South Dakota, Texas, and Oklahoma. These pickup stations are complete creameries in themselves. They have their own testing laboratories. They make their own butter, which is shipped to Galva for cutting and packaging. This is Charles Peterson, founder of the creamery. Naturally, a large office is required to handle all the paperwork of the creamery. The bookkeeping for the outlying creameries is taken care of here. The 5 sons of Charles Peterson now operate the Peterson Creameries. Here is Francis Peterson, general manager, with his brother Leonard, assistant general manager. The testing laboratory is an important part of the Peterson Creamery. A sample of cream is taken from each can and tested for butterfat content and for purity. Farmers are paid according to the quality. After testing, the cream is sent to the pasteurizing vats. and heated for 147 degrees for 30 minutes, then cooled to 50 degrees immediately. This is just one of the huge butter churns at the Peterson Creamery in Galva, Illinois. In as little as 45 minutes, this single churn can turn out 2,500 pounds of butter. Their outlying creameries are equipped similar to this one. The Kansas City and St. Paul branches are under the direction of two other sons of the founder. When the butter leaves the churn in the branch creameries, it's packed into large boxes and shipped here for further processing. The butter leaves the churn and is put in the chill room on these trucks until it's packaged. When thoroughly chilled, the butter is taken to the packaging machine, where it is cut into pounds or into quarter pounds and packaged for retail sale. This machine is quartering the butter. 4 quarters are mechanically placed in a pound box. And here is a pound of butter ready for retail sale. The pound packages are carried by conveyor to the shipping room, where they are sealed and stamped for shipment. Another important product at the Peterson Creamery in Galva, Illinois, is their buttermilk production. This is the type of buttermilk that is fed to hogs, chickens, and turkeys. Buttermilk is excellent for fattening animals or marketing, and its high protein content is extremely necessary in the development of large, lean animals. The Peterson Creamery buttermilk has been labeled the Wonder Feed because of its top quality and its successful feeding records for all types of hogs and poultry. Since Galva is located in the center of a large livestock feeding area, much of this buttermilk will be used right in this immediate vicinity. The rest will be shipped out. This is the garage of the Peterson Creamery, where their trucks are stored. The trucks are used to pick up cream in the farm area surrounding Galva and bring it into the creamery. As each can of cream comes to the creamery, it's checked in thorough in the receiving department. Whether it comes by train or truck, all cream goes through here. When the trucks leave the creamery, they are loaded with empty cream cans. These empties will be left with the farmers as full cans are picked up and brought into the creamery. Cream cans will hold 10 gallons of cream. The rolling hills that surround the city are fine for grazing dairy cattle. These are cartons of butter as they come in from the branch creameries. It will be packaged in pounds and quarters and sold under more than 50 brand names. At the present time, Petersons are making butter for better than 50 stores and dairy farms. A constant stream of trucks are always coming in and leaving the Peterson Creamery, bringing cream, delivering butter. The Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Road has been serving Galva as long as the city has been there, and now the Rock Island also has a road into the city. Here is Chamber of Commerce President Peyton Dexter, with the Chamber Secretary Chuck Hay standing in front of their office. This is Galva's new $6 million armory, dedicated May 15th, 1953. State inspectors say it's second to none in the entire state. Galva's National Guard unit is a 44th Division Field Artillery Battery. The Galva News announces to the people the city council actions. The Galva Relays, one of the leading track and field classics of the area. Many social and recreational events like the Spring Sing at the high school, and news about public institutions such as the library. Yes, this is our town, a small town typical of the many prairie towns that grew up around this part of the country. We have some industry, but not a great deal of it. We have a few famous people and some noteworthy buildings, but they aren't the important thing about our town. To the 2,812 of us living here, the most important thing in our lives is our freedom to grow in the true American way. We are hard-working people, and some of our families have been here for generations. They helped build up the town after the vicious fire of '75 wiped it out. It's a good town, and we're proud of it. We live democratically, governed by a mayor that we elect and also an elected city council. Any of us can attend council meetings, and every person has a voice in the governing of our town. We've enjoyed having you with us, and if you pass our way, stop and see us. And just in case you're on the train going through town, look out the window and take note of our city. It's the greatest little city on the globe. Galva, Illinois, USA. This is our town.